Coming up on today's show, we're going to check out the Athletics draft rankings for all 32 teams and see where Dane Brugler ranked Atlanta. Plus, Todd McShay from ESPN gave out his favorite picks for all 32 teams. So let's see who he selected for Atlanta. But first things first, we are so close to our next milestone, 12,000 subscribers. And a little birdie told me if we reach 12K off of today's video, producer Rolly might be open to doing a belly shot off the new guy here at Chat Sports. He's laughing right now, but he won't be if we reach 12,000 subscribers and pick up 80 subs today. Now, let's go back in time and talk more draft here as we sort of ride that draft high for the week or so following the conclusion of it. Atlanta ended up picking 6 players, including, of course, Bijan Robinson, the marquee name. Now, the Athletic had Matthew Bergeron as their favorite pick, Dane Brugler, their draft guru over there. Now, as for their most surprising pick, they went with Clark Phillips in terms of someone who could be a day 3 sleeper, right? Someone who surprises people in season as, hey, who's that guy? I don't remember him going in rounds 1, 2, or 3. Now, we're going to talk about these 3 selections and get in more detail about them. But first things first, we are trying to grow our channel, and a great way to do that is by sharing the video. So if you've got any Falcons friends or family members that have not come across our channel before, send this video to them, text it to them, whatever. But if you share it to Twitter and you tag producer Rolly with his handle right down there, well, we're going to give you a shout out on a future Falcons Today. Now, Brugler started things off by talking about Matthew Bergeron, his favorite selection for Atlanta, saying, Bijan Robinson might be a top 10 back in the league already, but my favorite pick among Atlanta's class is Bergeron, who almost heard his name called by Dallas in the first round. Despite playing left tackle in college, he is a great option inside at left guard and fits the Falcons scheme like a glove. He also provides depth at tackle if Atlanta needs to reshuffle things to get its best 5 on the field. The Falcons drafted both the best runner and arguably the best run blocker in this draft. We are officially here to say that Matthew Peterson during the draft was an absolute clown for being a bit pessimistic about that pick, because the more I read and the more I watch things about this selection, the more I grow to understand why Atlanta moved up to get Bergeron, right? Arthur Smith wants to be a run-first team. No surprise right there. So get the best 5 offensive linemen that you can, and Bergeron stepping in at left guard is going to make this one of the most formidable run-blocking offensive lines, right? You have Caleb McGarry and Chris Lindstrom on the right side. Dahlman enters his second season as a starter. Bergeron and Matthews are on the left side now. This is going to be a group that is blowing up linemen at the line of scrimmage. Now, more on Bergeron. The scouting report says this. 4-year starter, played right away at Syracuse. He was the first freshman to start at tackle for the Orange since 2002. Solid athlete, good balance, well-rounded tackle. He's just a bit undersized to be a true tackle in the NFL, hence the move to guard taking place here. Tom Downey, our draft expert at Chat Sports, says he needs to improve his hands and he struggles to recover once he gets beat, but there's no perfect prospect coming out of the draft. So for them to find someone like Bergeron in round 2 when he got some round 1 buzz, that definitely makes you feel confident about what he can do as a rookie. Some more stats on the offensive lineman here. His PFF grades from last year, overall 75.2, pass blocking 80.8, and run blocking 69.0. You guys know how PFF works. If it fits your narrative, you use it. If it does not fit your narrative, you say, hey, the guys who are scouting and watching PFF tape are a bunch of college kids who have never even put a jockstrap on before. So we're not going to use their opinion or use their data to support our arguments. But who was your favorite Falcons draft pick, right? Was it Bergeron, as Brugler went out with, or was it maybe Bijan Robinson? Just drop a name down in the comments section below with who your favorite draft pick was. Now, as for Dane Brugler's most surprising day 3 pick for Atlanta, he went with Clark Phillips. The Falcons added several new bodies to their cornerback depth chart this offseason, but Phillips is the most intriguing of the group. He is underwhelming from size, 5'9", 185, and speed, 4.51 standpoints. but his quick reaction skills and ability to disrupt the catch point, 6 interceptions in 2022, will translate well to the pro game. Phillips has the ingredients of a play-making nickel. This might be my favorite pick for where you got him, right? Atlanta got, in my opinion, a starting player in round 4. That's not true for all fourth-round draft picks. So for the Falcons to add an immediate starter at the nickel spot in round 4, that is great value right there, right? I mean, if Jeff Okudah does not work out opposite of A.J. Terrell, you bump Phillips over, and boom, you have your starting CB1 and 2 tandem for years to come. And if Okudah does work out, even better, right? You've got 3 excellent corners, and you are forming a no-fly zone over Hartsfield-Jackson. Now, Clark Phillips' scouting report has this to say. He's got the ball skills teams look for with great burst and feel for routes. He plays a bit small, right? He's only 5'9", so he can't maybe go toe-to-toe with the big receivers in the red zone. And I hope the Falcons don't try and put him in situations like that. Not an elite athlete. I know everyone loves to use those cliches of he's an awesome athlete, right? Great traits and all that stuff. It's not even so much the traits actually with Phillips. It's more of the ball skills, right? Look at what he did his last season in Salt Lake City. 6 pass breakups, 6 interceptions, 2 tackles for loss. The guy's a gamer. The guy's just an all-around great football player, and I think he's going to have a really big role as a rookie down in ATL. So overall, the Falcons draft class, Dane Brugler ranked the Falcons draft class 11th, which, good and bad, right? You're top half. You're not top 10. But to be 11th when you had the 8th pick in the draft, you want to really knock that one out of the park. Now, these are just Dane Brugler's opinions. And we all know draft grades are essentially one big joke, right? It's what the media, and ourselves included right now, love to do. And then we look back in a couple of years and go, wow, were we wrong on a lot of these takes we had. But here are the teams that Brugler had ranked higher than Atlanta at 11. The Eagles at 1, that's no surprise. I thought Indy had a great draft, and if you like Anthony Richardson, you love their draft. I don't, though. I don't think Anthony Richardson is the real deal. Houston, I think, killed it. Seattle definitely killed it. The Bears had a solid draft. 5 feels a bit high, but I still think they're top 10. I thought the Packers had a bad draft. 2 tight ends in day 2. Not a fan of that. The Steelers had an excellent draft. They should be probably closer to 5 than 7. The Bills at 8, I don't know, Jim, maybe. The Lions at 9, Brugler is one of the few people that actually respect what Detroit did. And truthfully, I think the Lions had a good draft as well. Cleveland at 10 might be a bit rich. They didn't pick till 74, but they got a lot of Brugler's guys, right? And so Dane Brugler's going to respect the teams that drafted a lot of players in his top 100. So with that being said, let's shift gears and look at Todd McShay's best pick for all 32 teams, and he went with Bijan Robinson as his favorite pick for Atlanta. Now, it's a bit of an easy selection for McShay, right? You go with the number 8 pick. Yeah, that's a bit of a gimme here. But I respect McShay because he has the stones to say what a lot of people aren't saying, and that is the Falcons got a phenomenal player, even if it was a running back in round 1. Here's what McShay said. There are 2 camps on this pick. There are the Kipers of the world who won't like it because it's a running back in the top 10. We've all heard this rule by now, and I get it. The position is devalued in 2023, and we saw evidence as to why just this past season with the same team. Tyler Allgeier went from 5th-round pick to 1,000-yard rusher as a rookie. But come on, Robinson is a different kind of player and has the chance to be truly special. He's my highest graded running back since Saquon Barkley in 2018 and finished number 2 overall on my board. Atlanta went best player available, and it's for someone that loves best player available. I can't really knock him for it, right? I do think the Falcons didn't just get a great running back here. The Falcons got what might be, I know this is wildly premature to say, but he's got that path of a Hall of Fame type player, right? I know that that's crazy to say before he even takes the snap, and I'm gaslighting him and everything like that, but God, it's Bijan Robinson. Like, these guys do not come around every year. Every year or two, it feels like there's always great edge rushers and corners year after year, but running backs, like, look at the previous first-round running backs, okay? Bijan is in his own tier from these guys, right? Najee Harris, Travis Etienne, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, like, they can't even touch Bijan. with like the expectations are going into their rookie season. The closest is Saquon Barkley, who, if he did not have a major ACL blow in his third season, he might be one of the best running backs in the NFL, no questions asked. And he's still great, along with Christian McCaffrey and Zeke for a stretch there. But the point is Bijan should not be compared to how previous first-round running backs did, because he's in a different tier than Sony Michel and Rashad Penny, okay? He is the best prospect we have seen in a long time, right? If he's better than Saquon, then he might be the best prospect we've seen since Adrian Peterson back in 2007, 2008, whenever he got drafted. So I am a fan of the Bijan Robinson selection. Did Atlanta have bigger needs to fill? Yes. Do I wish they went Christian Gonzalez or Jalen Carter? Maybe. But if Bijan Robinson is a 9-10-year player for the Falcons and puts up 1,000 straight yards for 1,000 yards for the first straight 7-6 seasons, whatever, I'm not going to be too upset with this pick here. So now I want everyone watching to give me your takes in the comment section. Do you like the Bijan Robinson pick? Simple Y for yes or N for no. I'm going to go yes. I've come around to the idea maybe more so than I initially did, because Bijan is just that special and just a can't miss guy, right? I don't think they reached for a running back, right? Jahmyr Gibbs might be a reach by Detroit in a couple of years. Bijan, we're going to look back and go, well, the Falcons have the best running back in football for the next 5 years. Like, he's that special of a prospect. McShay also added this on, saying, the Falcons have plenty of needs, but they often go with a best player available approach, and that's certainly what they did here. Robinson could dominate in Atlanta's run-heavy offensive scheme right out of the gate. He piled up 1,580 rushing yards and 18 touchdowns on the ground last season and was one of the nation's most effective backs in the pass game. Robinson is patient and has the burst to turn the corner on outside rushes, which Atlanta ran more often than 30 other teams last season, 171 rushes. But it's his contact balance that really wows you when you watch him take a handoff. His 91 forced missed tackles led the country by a significant margin last season. Simply put, Robinson is elite and in the perfect offense, so I'm okay with the use of a top 10 pick here. In fact, I'm excited about it. And I understand that Atlanta's got a good running back room already with Allgeier and Cordero Patterson, but let's be honest, CP84 is probably not going to be here past 2023. So if you want to have a 1-2 punch with Tyler Allgeier and Bijan Robinson, like I said in yesterday's video, Desmond Ridder, your new role, professional handoffer. Like, that is his job now, to give the ball to Bijan Robinson and let this elite offensive line just churn defensive linemen. And if that's the strategy for Atlanta, if they don't have an elite quarterback and they don't think they were going to get one in this year's draft, lean into your strengths. Be a run-first team. Set the clock back a little bit, right? I understand in 2023 everyone wants to pass the ball, but be the best at running the ball. Look at the 49ers. Are they getting super far because of elite quarterback play? No, it's because of their ground game. So if Atlanta wants to follow that model and get the best talent at those positions, I'm not going to really knock that approach all that much. That is it for today's show. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you have not subscribed, you know the deal. Go ahead and do so, and we'll see everyone later.